Welcome to my YouTube channel, and thank you so much for stopping by today. We've got an exciting video to do. It's a mystery, Stonehenge. This is a prehistoric stone circle monument. Could have been used as a cemetery, but it's definitely an archaeological site located in Salisbury Plain, about 8 miles north of Salisbury, Wiltshire, England. Now, there's no definite evidence as to what the purpose of Stonehenge was. It could have been a religious site, an expression of power and wealth by aristocrats and priests who built it, allegedly built it, many of whom could have been buried there in the numerous barrows close by. It was aligned on the sun and possibly for observing the sun and moon and working out a farming calendar. Or perhaps the site was dedicated to the world of ancestors separated from the world of the living, or it was a healing center. It could have been used by Druid Celtic priests. The present-day Druids gather there every year to hail midsummer sunrise. Looking toward the sunrise, the entrance to the northeast points over a big pillar, now leaning at an angle called the heel stone. Looking the other way, it pinpoints to the midwinter sunset. The summer solstice is also celebrated there by huge crowds of visitors. So it was allegedly built in 6 stages from about 3000 to 1520 BCE during the transition from the Neolithic period. Now remember, the Neolithic period was the Stone Age, all right? And we always think of the Stone Age as kind of like, prehistoric people carrying around spears and very ancient tools, all right? And so it is really interesting how these people in the prehistoric Stone Age could have moved these big sarsen stones, which were, archaeologists pinpointed the source of these as an area 15 miles north of the site near Marlborough. And the 7-meter tall sarsens weigh 20 tons. 20 tons. How do you move 20 tons 15 miles? It's amazing. And the smaller blue stones were traced to the Preseli Hills in Wales. So why did they build this? We don't know for sure. But there are, if you look at this layout, they definitely laid this out in a very organized fashion. It wasn't just a bunch of rocks thrown down. And if you look at it more closely, the barrows were where these human remains have been found and discovered. So were sacrifices done there? Were the priests buried there? It is very interesting to look at this. Now, the scholars have been, attempting to figure out the mystery for years. They've predated some of it to be 2,000 years from the Druids and recorded by Julius Caesar. In 1963, the astronomer Gerald Hawkins proposed that Stonehenge had been constructed as a computer to predict lunar and solar eclipses. Oh. Most of these speculations have been rejected by the experts. In 1973, archaeologist Colin Renfrew hypothesized that Stonehenge was the center of a confederation of the Bronze Age chiefdoms. Other archaeologists, however, have since come to the viewpoint of Salisbury Plain as pointing to the intersection between adjacent prehistoric territories serving as a seasonal gathering place during the 4th and 3rd millennia BCE for groups living in the lowlands to the east and to the west. In 1998, Malagasy archaeologist Ramalsonianina proposed that Stonehenge was built as a monument to the ancestral dead, and the permanence of his stones representing eternal life or eternal afterlife. In 2008, British archaeologists Tim Darvill and Geoffrey Wainwright suggested the basis of Amesbury Archer, an early Bronze Age skeleton with a knee injury excavated 3 miles from Stonehenge, that it was prehistory place of healing. However, analysis of human remains from around and within the monument show no difference from other parts of Britain's population. So this mystery goes on, and I thought it would be really fun to put the tarot cards on this and see what they come up with and see if we can get any insights into this. There's a lot of history out there on Stonehenge, and one just has to wonder, how this Neolithic age people put this thing up. It is just really incredible. So with all that, let's jump into the cards. Now, I have some fun cards for this. What these are is they're called Druidcraft, I think they are. Tarot cards. They're big. They're hard to shuffle, but they really will capture the Neolithic or Stone Age. They really will capture this. So what I want to do, so this doesn't get confusing, because if this thing took like hundreds or thousands of years to construct, it means that, entirely different people would have come and worked on this at different lifetimes or different periods. So we could get easily confused by this. So I want to capture the spirit of the first people who brought the first stone. What were they doing? The first stones that were laid out, the person that had this idea, what were they thinking? The initial purpose of Stonehenge was for what? When the first stone was laid out. This is a person, Princess of Pentacles, and she's like, Look at the look on her face. She's pondering. Look at that. Now I wonder if I can make a circle and have a geometric pattern in it. Holy crap. Look at what we have. You can't make this up. Look at this. Something's carved in the stone. It's a circular pattern. It almost could be like the infinity symbol, except not. And you've got these big stones. And here she is. Did I tell you this would be interesting? We've just pulled our first card. And I kid you not, look at the stones. She's figuring out how to get the stone. Look at that. She's figuring out how to get the stones up there. The heavy stones and the heavy stones up. This even looks like freaking Stonehenge. Look at that. Look at how they're laid out. This one shows better. See that? It even looks like it, and we've just pulled our first card. She wanted a circle, or it could have been he, she, we don't care. Her feet are on the stone, barefoot. Oh, this would have been, God, they didn't even have shoes then? Or what are you saying there, barefoot? Definitely a circle with a definite laid out pattern, a geometric pattern. And she was pondering, and look at this. Something is carved in the inner stones. I wonder if they have found patterns, like geometric patterns. I wonder if they've discovered or if they wore off through the years. But there was definitely a pattern carved in the stones. This is exciting, folks. I told you this would be. All right. The very first ancient people that wanted this up. Strength card. Oh, they were strong people. They were strong. And this just shows the field. They brought the stones across a field. Now there's a sword laying here, which is weird. And a wild boar. So they were incredibly strong is what the card, which they would have to be. It would take an incredibly strong race to do this. So they utilized, like, oh my God, here's a stone with a whole bunch of pentacles, and here's a pentacle. All right. So the people did this were definitely pentacle, which would be priests or druids or some society that had ancient knowledge or ancient wisdom. Because look at all the pentacles on the stone. This was definitely a group of like priests or somebody in a field of knowledge. And they used large trees I feel like they used large trees somehow to move the stones, or trees played a role. And there's a tree here. I feel like trees, tree and stone, tree and stone. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Let's keep going here. So they put things at an angle. They put things at an angle to move these stones. So they did something at an angle. They angled up something. Now this could be angled up the dirt. They angled up something to get the stones upright. See, they're at an angle and now he's got upright. So they knew the law of physics. If they put something at an angle and then slowly brought the angle up, they could stand it upright. Because those things weighed 20 tons. That's not like anything that we have now moving. Oh. So they possibly during early times, they could have also had sacrifices. People tied up and sacrificed for whatever, for the seasons, for the crops. Who knows why they sacrificed back then? It's hard to understand. But this does look like sacrifice. She's there, the stones are there, and yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so we've got the stones here, and they've got some kind of ceremony. Here's a book with a pentacle. These were definite. Oh, I didn't even notice this. The high priest, the high priestess. So, you know, we say they could be high priests. Well, consider this, folks. These could have been priestesses because the very first card was a woman pondering it. So yes, in a male-oriented society that we've become in modern days, it is very possible that Stonehenge was masterminded by women. I'm serious. I am serious. Yeah, hard to believe, but guess what? This is the High Priestess card. High Priestess. This is women. This is women that masterminded this. And it was for moon worship. It had something to do with the moon. Here's the large stones. And here's their book, and they were doing ceremonies. They were doing ceremonies. So that was it. It was originally put up for ceremonies. The power, they were harnessing the power of the moon originally, or the cycles of the moon. And then people came from other areas. They came over, they traveled. Then other people traveled to the structure. And there was a battle. Five of Swords is the battle. And they took over the people. They took over the land. Look at, they took their weapons. I wonder if they wiped them out. If they wiped out this highly evolved race. They were not Neolithic, Stone Age cavemen. They were highly evolved women. So here again, we have women. We have queens. The women's were the leaders. Oh, she's got her foot on a stone. She's got her foot on a stone. It's weird. I'm going to switch to another deck pretty soon because I feel like this one's done. Oh my God. They carved symbols into the stone, and the people were amazed at the craftsmanship. This is so important, folks. This is coming up throughout the whole deck. They were carving symbols in the stone. I wonder if that changed the vibration of it somehow. Okay, so they passed away. Then they passed away, leaving their legacy. Leaving their legacy. They passed away. Or they were, taken out in that battle. Wow. So there were people then living nearby. See the structure off in the distance? There's almost like a rainbow over there. It's almost like that structure emanates energy, and then they lived in nearby villages. This is later on. I'm going to switch because when I feel the energy drop, it means that deck has told the early story of the question that I asked. So I'm going to switch over to the Witch's Tarot. Does Stonehenge have some kind of energy? I mean, if these high priestesses did this, did they create some kind of an energy form using, I don't know, if they were high priestesses, did they do witchcraft? I mean, what was with these symbols carved on the stone? What did those do? What did the symbols, let's ask that question. This is the Witch's Tarot, I think it's called. What was the purpose of those carvings into the stone? What did those do? King of Cups, masters. They were masters. And here's stones here. So they were masters of the stones. Masters of the stones. Harnessing the energy of the sun. The sun. They were masters of the stones, harnessing energy of the sun. And the Ace of Wands is spiritual energy. So there was also spiritual energy that they were getting for transformation, for change, for changing things, and for growth of plants. There's plants growing. Oh, this had more than one purpose. So they were tracking the sun for growing their crops, but they were also harnessing the energy, because this is energy. Let's keep going. Wow, here we have like some structure in the background here, and then we have the stones. What's this? Like a hybrid person? A hybrid person. What does this mean? A hybrid person. That's a mermaid, but they couldn't have mermaids there. So it's like a hybrid person. What's going on with that? Why would we have a hybrid person? What's going on with the hybrid person? I don't even know what deck I would have that would answer that question. Should we just try this one? I'm going to try a different deck. I'm actually going to try a different deck and put a confirmation on. Is this a hybrid person? What do they mean hybrid? What do they mean hybrid person? Half human, half something else. So here's the queen with a rabbit. Queen and a rabbit, fish and a person. Rabbits breed. Rabbits are known for breeding. Like if you mate like a rabbit, rabbits breeding. And this is Queen of Pentacles. She's the Earth Woman. The Earth Woman, and what? What are you saying? Were these people into genetics? And the water people? The pentacle and the pentacle breeding, the rabbit breeding, and somebody from the water. And then we got a half human, half water. What? What are you saying? Was there a race of people that lived in the water? Was there a race of people that lived in the water? There were. And he's standing in the freaking water. He can't answer my question any more clear than that. Were they living in the water? There he is, standing in the water. There were people that were living in the water. Okay, all right, let's just talk like a third grader. People that were living in the water were bred, the rabbit, and made into half hybrids people. What in the world is going on with that? So there were hybrids. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Let's move. Let's just keep going so we don't lose track. I'm just like, what is going on with this? So there was some kind of a race of people coming from the water that were bred with the other people, and they were hybrids. Okay, I'm just going to call them hybrids. I don't know. Did they have special powers? Now I want to take the reading off to these people. Oh my God, the water people had. I was just going to ask, did they have special powers? And here's a little girl in the water with a cup. They had special powers. And we have stones in the back. So the people with special powers built the stones? Is that what you're saying on Stonehenge? This hybrid race had special powers, and the special powers are in the stones. Yes, I got it. This is the card like you got it. You figured it out. And so here's the structure. These people erected the structure. It has a spiritual purpose, all right? With the Ace of Wands and the Four of Wands, this stone structure had a purpose, a spiritual purpose. And it was a gathering place of this special race of people, or half people, half alien. I don't know what they were. And the energy is now blocked from harnessing the power of the moon. She's sitting on a stone bench. The energy has been blocked, so the power of the moon can't get to it. Why did they block the energy now? Why was the energy blocked? Oh my God, that's the planet Earth. And so he's holding Earth. So this is a race. This is a race of people that are not on the planet. Because the planet's here. Here, I'll hold this up for you to see. He's got the planet in his hand. He's holding the planet Earth. He's not on the Earth. He's in the spirit world. So the spirit world. See, I knew cats had something to do with this. Cats love boxes. They probably were all over Stonehenge. That was a joke, in case some of you didn't catch it. So let's do this. Either this was an extraterrestrial race, or these were spirits that had great powers from the other side, spiritual masters who blocked the power of Stonehenge from the world, from Earth. They blocked the power. It doesn't harness that energy anymore like it did in the past, because they blocked it from Earth. Why? Why did they block it? The high priestess knows why, and she's not going to reveal the secret. That's interesting, because this is the card about secrets, because it's a temple. It's the temple. And I feel like the people nowadays, or the modern human, can't handle whatever this is. Whatever this was that the ancients had the knowledge to work with, the earth has to now be protected from it. So it's been blocked. It's been blocked by the high priestess. The high priestess. And here's the moon. And here's the moon in this card. Moon. She's got her feet on the moon. Oh, sun and the moon. Or the moon's back here too on the temple. No, the moon's on both of those. This is more moon. This is moon and sun energy, but this is moon. And the moon is lunacy. They were doing something with the moon. Okay, so they blocked it from us. So what's the purpose now of Stonehenge? So it's been blocked. Okay, we understand that. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, we understand that. What is the purpose of it now? Just a gathering site for people. The Knight of Cups is people. People come to gather. They come to make, they come to, for many reasons. This is many reasons, but they come from all the faraway lands. They simply come to gather there. And the Seven of Swords, this is people stealing stuff. He's stealing stuff. So that's why they had to rope it off, because the humans were stealing stuff from the sacred site. Okay, so this is fascinating. I have another question. I'm going to pull out another deck, and I want to know if in the future Stonehenge is going to be reactivated. Is it going to be reactivated in the future? Is it going to be reactivated in the future? It's bound tight. No, the energy is bound. The energy is bound tight. We don't know. Okay, so it's going to depend on the masters if they're going to release it. If they're going to release it. Huh. This is interesting. And of course the woman has to show up. She's showing up to say, I'm still watching. This is still my structure. The desire was within me. So she's saying that the males have, we think it's like a male type of energy. She's saying, no, this is feminine energy. But what is this? Because this kind of makes me feel like the human race is trapped. And I don't like that thought that I had. So I have to pull. When I have a confirmation card, I just get in the habit of I push it up. And I say, I need to know, is this the human race trapped by, did they trap the human race? Or am I just misreading that? From the stars. The people from the stars. The people that were two different, remember the water people? The water people, they took some of the people from the land and some of the people from the water and stirred them up together. And this is people from the stars that did this. So they messed with the human DNA, and they're watching it. She's watching it. What are they going to do? Are they still messing with it? Are you still messing with human DNA right now? Knight of Wands, that's the people from the spirit or the highly evolved. This is the card for in tarot, if it's either extraterrestrials, foreign people, or people from other lands. So this is the Nine of Wands. There's a pattern of doing this. There's a pattern of doing this and growing something new, growing new humans, or growing. So they're still doing this. Well, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing for humans? Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing for humans? Oh, it's a good thing. Oh, okay. Because I'm glad I got the Four of Wands. Thank you. The Four of Wands can never be read in a negative way. So this is a good thing. All right. Okay. So we don't know if Stonehenge is going to get activated again. But this is certainly interesting. And I feel like I want to end on a good card. So these are good people. These high priestess women who had this idea for Stonehenge, they're good people. They're not evil. Whew, we can all take a wow. So this reading went all over the place, and sometimes it happens with the tarot. And that's why I read with a lot of decks, because all of a sudden a deck will start pulsating and I'll feel it and I'll look at it and I'll be like, I have to take this deck. Because remember, a lot of reading is the symbols. The cards will give you clues. So the star people have their hands, the people from the stars have their hands in the Stonehenge structure. And it's a very sacred, well thought out structure, as in the Four of Wands card is. And it has a very spiritual purpose. So, all right. Leave your comments below. I'm interested to see what you think. You can pause the video and really look at these cards, because really these videos would last 3 hours if I sat and looked at everything on all the cards as thoroughly as I would like to. But I kind of go through them quickly on the video for purposes, for time purposes. So if you see anything in those cards, please leave your comments and we'll work this out together. And I thank you so much for being on my channel.